Hey guys, Jason Huey here. Going to go over the first parts of building the warped wall. So first and foremost, we have three 3/4 inch sheets of plywood. I'll explain why they're staggered here in just a little bit. You want a pencil, a regular pencil, pen, carpenter pencil, whatever works. Tape measure, if you can. One of these blueprints, you can find it on the blog and print it out for yourself right there. That will give you a transition, the curves and everything to follow by. And basically that's where we're going to start right now. So one thing that's different about the warped wall is you may notice towards the bottom it takes a steep curve right up. It's not a nice smooth transition. We figured they did this by offsetting the radius. So the radius for the warped wall is 10 feet. What I've done here is I got old speaker wire, measured off 10 feet to the pencil, and attached it to a kettlebell. Oh yeah, gotta love the kettlebells. So measured out 10 feet, that's the radius for this. But on top of that, the offset means is it's going to not be exactly flush with the base of it. So right here you see, that's where we're going to start. I put a 6-inch gap here, so we have the 4x4s here and the 2x4 can start right there. So this is going to be our top, the running surface of the warped wall. And the offset is 12 inches. So when we start this radius, we want it to start 12 inches below the surface. So right there. So I actually measured, that's 6 inches right there, so I measured 6 inches from this board. Let me get this on here. So you take it back and you can see it's at 6 inches. So now we're 12 inches below the surface. So we're going to be dragging this along right here. We're going to keep this nice and tight throughout the entire radius. It's going to come across right up through here. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to continue to carve up to the 14-foot mark. We're going to go 14 feet from the bottom sheet, from the running surface. And one thing we want to remember is we want to fit as much of this on one sheet as we can. So we're not necessarily going to be cutting this sheet up. We're going to cut these sheets, and then we're going to take the measurements from the blueprints for the top part up here. And I believe this is about the first sheet, right about right here, second sheet, and this last 2.5 feet is going to be that top sheet. So what we're actually going to do is, instead of cutting it out of this one right here, we're going to transplant that drawing onto this one, and we're going to cut that out. So once we get these 3 pieces cut out, then no more drawing is needed. We're actually going to take those same exact pieces, put them over on our scrap boards, trace them out, and then cut those out. So that way they're exact measurements of the first copy, and we don't have to redraw or anything. So let's get to it. I'll hop on it right now. I'll throw you in the case. Alright, now we got our transition cut out. Second part is to get cutting here. So one thing you want to have is this bad boy right here. Not the same brand, but same type of saw. Get your safety glasses, extension cord for wherever you're going out. And here's our first section. You notice how the lines are a little bit wavy? That's going to happen. It's just in your sawing process. You just want to smooth through that and just cut right through the center of those. Make it as nice, smooth as possible. Now when it comes to the second part of actually doing this to save wood so we can fit all transition on here, we're going to make a 8-inch strip for the transition for the middle of it, not for the bottom or the top. We're going to have chunks of plywood for that for stability. So after we cut this out, we're actually going to be taking this template right here and bringing it over on top and matching it all up so that way we have a perfect curvature, which is 8 inches for the rest of that right there. So let's hop to it. Yeah. All right. I'll put you guys on top of the saw today. How's that sound? There we go. Alright, that's the first part of the transition. Now move on to the second sheet here. Alright, here we are back again. We're going to be carving out that 8-inch section. So what I did is, this is the cutout from carving the centerpiece of the warped wall here. So what you want to do is measure out 8 inches from the surface cut and have your template start right there. You see actually? There we go, right about 8 inches now. So you want to make sure it's 8 inches from that cut. I want to make sure it matches with it too. Come over this side. The base of that. The base of there. Excuse me. It's hard doing this one hand. So you see right there. There. 8 inches. So that means everything's true. What we're just going to do is take the pencil. Make your cut. And then for this last part, just move it around till it gets there. Let's match up the rest of the transition. And cut it after this. So there we go. Let's move this off. See how it used to be a part of it? There we go. And now you have your cut. And this will give you your second piece. We already have the first piece of the warp wall there. This will give us our second piece. And then we're going to work on getting that top section for the ramp. Alright, as you see, I have the first one cut out here. And now I trace behind it, mark the back of it, and trace the front. We have some gaps here because this was the back. It's not evenly cut. It's just a sketchy cut just to get it done. But we have the nice smooth transition up here in front. So we're going to be cutting out the nice smooth one. Cut down. And then we're going to be done with our 2 middle sections. And here we are. Offset by 1 foot, 10-foot radius cut. Now let's haul this baby out to that project and get this thing up.